Hi, welcome back to Great Western Building Systems. I'm Eric Beavers, so you might be wondering why I'm standing here in Grand Junction. We actually wound up finding a facility not purpose-built to us, but we found the old Grand Junction steel facility, and it really just suits our needs. Actually, the space that we have here, the functionality of the building is a lot more than what we were going to get out of our own build. So that's why we're in Grand Junction. It's speeding up our timelines, it's getting our equipment indoors, and it gets us producing faster. Here we have about 120,000 square feet of under roof. It's a lot bigger than like I mentioned we were going to do in Pueblo, so we've been able to fill this space out. It's not we're not cramped in, so we have a lot of room to grow. When this line is complete, it'll run the full length of the building, about 460 feet. So it'll certainly make the space feel smaller. But yeah, we got, the main crane here is a 20-ton overhead bridge crane, spans 72 feet. We have a 10 and a 15 in the same bay. In our fabrication bay, we do have 3 new bridge cranes on order. They're supposed to be here later this month. We'll see how that goes with Christmas coming up, but certainly by January. That's a 10 and 2.5 state-of-the-art crane systems. And now these cranes run all the way out into the yard. I don't know how we're going to utilize that. Most of our material, we like to store it indoors so it doesn't weather. The original shop here, it's what we're using for our warehousing and our shipping, is about 70 by 250. And that was built, I believe, in the 1930s, or maybe in the late 1920s. The part of the shop that we're standing in right now, this is actually the coolest part. This was an addition later in the early 40s. This steel was brought in from the Union Pacific Rail Yard here in Grand Junction. And the story behind behind the steel that you're looking at is pretty unique. If you look closely, you'll notice it's all put together with hot rivets. It's not welded, they're not mill beams, it's angle and plate that's been riveted together. The steel came out of Carnegie in 1902 and was shipped to the Union Pacific Rail Yard, and then subsequently it was moved here. And it's cool, so you can see Carnegie stamped on a lot of the beams, so it has a lot of history. That puts the part of the shop over 100 years old, 120 years old almost. Behind me is our plasma table. That's being installed right now. The outfeed table will be installed later this afternoon, and we should be testing on it tomorrow. We are still waiting on our flange line and of course our pull-through welder. We took possession of the building in September. We bought the building from a gentleman named Jim, the former owner of Grand Junction Steel. I know that Jim opened Grand Junction Steel in the early 80s. He moved from Colorado Springs. And kind of the heritage of what this building has done in this community is amazing. Glenwood Canyon, all the steel in that came out of this shop in the 80s and 90s. Part of the big dig in Massachusetts came out of this shop. Some of the big bridges they did, just the mousetrap in Denver, and a lot of the box girders for the overpasses in the Houston metro area. So. It's nice. A lot of times when we're hiring guys, we have about 15 people working here now. We'll ramp that up as equipment comes in, and we can increase to somewhere between 40 and 50. But the funny thing is we'll interview guys in their 30s and they're to come in as machine operators or welders, and their dads worked here, or their parents, and so it's got a lot of heritage in the community. In fact, when I'm talking to people out in town and I mention what we do and where we're at, they're just they're so enthusiastic. Just the people that we've been able to hire. I mean, we're just talking, it's asses and elbows, just hardworking, people that enjoy working hard. They enjoy staying late, and I've just been real privileged to find that here in Grand Junction. When my wife was visiting, and she's at the grocery store, just raving about how kind everybody is. On the Front Range, it's not like that. It's more like Riverside, California, or something, and it's not quite rural or country, but it's just community and friendly, and I've noticed the same thing. I'm not sure what my plan is or my family's plan is, but every day that I spend here, I'm more and more thinking, geez, maybe Grand Junction is the place for me. So I think that's about it. I appreciate you joining me out here. If you have any questions or want any updates, check out the channel. I know Justin will be out here with his cameras and his gizmos over the next couple of months. We'll continue trying to do little status updates and stuff, but if you're interested, just give the office a call. A lot of my customers, know how to reach me directly, so feel free to do that. And yeah, I like talking about this stuff, so I'll tell you whatever you want to know. But like I said, that's it. I appreciate you sticking around, and we'll talk to you next time.